When was your defining moment in your relationship with your narcissist? I think for most people, there's not one defining moment. There may be the icing on the cake, but there's not one defining moment, right? I know with me, when I first started realizing what was going on, it was almost like, this can't be true, this can't be real, this can't honestly be happening. When the lying starts, you start catching them in the lies, and you're kind of trying to figure it out. The cheating, well, that really throws you for one, doesn't it? And the gaslighting and the word salad, and then you find out they're talking behind your back, and they never have your back, and they never are moving with you as a partnership. It's always competition. It almost becomes so overwhelming and unbelievable that you almost ask yourself, am I reading this correctly? Can this possibly be happening? And that's where you start to blame yourself. That's where you say, there's no way that this person could be exhibiting all of these just really psychotic behaviors unless I'm doing something to make this person, act in such a way. And they certainly make you think that it's you. They tell you everything is your fault and you drove them to this, and if you hadn't have done that, they wouldn't have done this, and they can't be honest with you because you can't take the truth. And oh my gosh, by the time you get done, you are just spinning. You can't figure out, right from left, left from right. So I'm really curious to know, was there a defining moment for you, or was it a bunch of little moments that came together and over time? I think that it's a bunch of little moments. I think that it is just one heartbreak after another and one betrayal after another. I think it's like, chopping wood, and you just keep throwing it behind you and throwing it behind you. And pretty soon you've got this huge pile, and you can't overcome all that has happened, all that has transpired. And you're the only one trying to sift through it. You're the one trying to alleviate that pile. You're the one back there chopping wood, and you've got splinters all over your fingers, and you're sweating, and you're sunburned from the sun. And you look over, and your partner is sitting in the shade drinking water and laughing at you. That's what it feels like. You're completely alone. And you wonder how you got there. You wonder how you made all these promises to one another, or you had wedding vows, or you maybe invested in businesses together or homes, and you grew this life together, and how they can be so cavalier and just throwing it all away, and you look at you and not care, literally laugh at you. I don't know if you've ever heard, this saying, or it's really kind of a story about a narcissist will push you out of a building and watch you fall to your death, and miraculously you land on the ground and you've broken every bone in your body, but you're not dead. And the narcissist walks up to you, steps over you, and keeps walking and leaves you there for death. That's what they do. They leave you for dead. They abuse you. They use you, they break you, and if you stand up for yourself, you will pay the price. You're not allowed to have boundaries with them. They are allowed to do and say whatever they want. You become the scapegoat. You become the one who has to take it. And if you speak up for yourself, or you in any way push back, you will pay the price. You will be singled out as being this horrible person. And they, in turn, teach that to everyone else. So, is it a defining moment, or is it many moments that happen over time? I think it's many that happen over time. I think it's like a slow death. And those people that stay in the narcissistic relationship, they die. They die a slow, painful death. They get autoimmune diseases. They get cancer, they develop substance abuse problems, depression. They're often on medication. When you come out of these relationships, it's amazing how once you start to heal. And it's not an easy process. It takes time and it takes work. But you can sleep again, and you can laugh again, and you don't need medication, and you don't need to self-medicate, and you have such clarity like you have not had in years. It does eventually come back. And when that happens and you really begin to see the truth, there's going to be a lot of anger there, a lot of anger. But let that anger drive you. Give it time, feel it, embrace it. It will pass. Anger is not a bad thing. I don't care what anyone says. It is not a bad thing. It does have its place. Anger is justified. And you have every right to be angry because it's an injustice. And no, life is not fair. And it is unfortunate. And we hope and pray that karma does come about. I do believe that it does. I do honestly believe that it does. Eventually, it does. And it starts with you. It starts with your healing. Because see, they don't ever plan on that. They plan on breaking you to the point where you don't ever heal again. I want you to heal. And I want you to be happy again and whole. And I want you to tell the truth. I want you to tell your truth, and I want you to tell it loud. Don't try to convince anybody of the truth. But know your truth. Stand in your truth. And remember all of those little moments. Write them down. Remember that pain you felt when they betrayed you. Remember that feeling of a dagger in your heart. They put that dagger there. They put many daggers there. They put them in your heart. They put them in your back. They stabbed you every chance they got. It's quite sad, isn't it? That you loved someone who in turn wanted to do nothing more than to hurt you. So heal yourself. That's the best revenge you can possibly give them.